But more importantly is we're going to put our chute on, and we're going to pull the chute, pull the ripcord, and see what happens.
Hey, welcome to the E3 hangar. We're here on an early morning, and you read that right. These parachutes need to be checked. When we're flying this magnificent machine here, we have to be wearing parachutes. And I'll talk about the regulations and why, and also talk about the specs on the airplane and why, because it might surprise you. So we're gonna head out to Everglades today, and while we're flying over there, it's a short flight, we're gonna talk about some stuff coming up from E3 member events. We're also going to check out our new jet shades that have been installed in the aircraft. We're going to try out the voice activation system in the Garmin and talk a little bit more about that. And I got a couple other quick tips and things that we're going to show you about this plane. So we're going to go ahead and load up. But today we are taking the Bonanza to drop these off, and it is a short flight. Everglades is it's at Clewiston, Florida. It's only about a 20-minute flight for us in the Bonanza here. It's right at the southwest side of Lake Okeechobee. So let's do our pack up, get rolling, and we'll see you in the air.
All right, everybody, so we are taxiing out to runway 9. We're going to test doing a missed approach by doing the missed approach right from the ground. And we're going to do a whole video on it where we're doing a whole missed approach and then reapproach, and then also use our voice technology that's in Garmin here that we'll show you a little bit on this flight. But what we do is at our run-up, we're going to have our ILS in there, and then as soon as we take off, we're going to activate the missed approach, and then on our takeoff, actually fly the missed approach. So it gets us a little practice in heading out of South Florida here. So we'll show you how that goes. And ground, Bonanza 747 Yankee Victor at Charlie ramp, ready to taxi. 747 Yankee Victor. All right, so everybody, we're going to go to Skydive Spaceland, and it's in Clewiston, so the airport is Everglades Airport. And we're going to meet Rick there, who's the owner. And what we're hoping to do is we're going to get there, we're going to see the whole facility, check it out, see how they operate the whole Skydive Center there, which is a really cool place. But more importantly is we're going to put our chute on, and we're going to pull the chute, pull the ripcord, see what happens, and watch it come out and look inside our chute and get a feel for what does it look like, because we haven't seen the inside of our parachutes yet, these new parachutes. So, you know, our parachutes, when you're flying the extra, you've got 180 days. After 180 days, they have to be inspected. Now, if your parachute has more like silk in it or other materials, sometimes it's a lot less. I think it's 90 days. But for us, we have to do it every 180 days. The reason we have to have chutes when we're flying the extra is it's a legal requirement. Not that the extra is really prone to having a wing fall off or something, because that's about the only reason we would need our chute in the first place. You know, if we have the majority of the problems in that plane, it's just like anything else. Land the airplane, if you lose an engine or something like that, you just deal with those emergencies the same way. But if you're doing some pretty aggressive maneuvers, if for some reason you totally lost control of the aircraft, or you're in a spin you can't recover out of, or the wing comes off or something, that's where you would pull the canopy off, get out of the airplane, pull your chute. And we talk about that a lot when we do our videos on the extra. And, you know, the extra is tested to plus or minus 10 Gs. I'm sorry, plus or minus 20 Gs. It's certified to plus or minus 10 Gs. So we barely even get to 4 or 5 Gs on most of our flights. So, you know, I'm not that worried about the wing coming off of the extra. But it's a legal requirement that we wear those parachutes, and every 180 days we have to have them checked and repacked. Now, things have changed in that world with the definition of aerobatics, and as of the filming of this, it's I'm not reading it verbatim or anything, but it's basically any abrupt movements or abrupt or unnecessary power changes or abrupt attitudes that are not necessary for normal flight. That's generally how they categorize that you're technically flying aerobatics. But I know that when you look at the requirements for chutes, it's a little bit different. It basically still goes back to the old definition of if you're nose up, nose down, 30 degrees or you're banking more than 60 degrees. Basically, the definition there is that you require a chute if you're doing that. So I just say go read those two. They can be a little confusing. So anyway, check out those regulations and just know if you need a chute or not. And so I'm looking forward to getting there, and we'll see you, we'll talk more about this on the ground. All right, so we promised we'd show a little bit about our voice activation system here on the Garmin. Tune, destination, Unicom. Okay, so we got the Unicom in there for our destination. We're good on that. Go back to my map. And we're only a few minutes out. We'll check in and see what runway they're using. Let me check the weather there. Tune, destination, AWAS. And Airglades traffic confirm using runway 31, Airglades.
Currently on final for runway 13, Airglades traffic for track 341.
Hey Rick, great to meet you.
Great to meet you as well. Welcome to Skydive Spaceland, Clewiston.
Thanks for the invite. We're excited to be here, and I'm excited to show everybody not only your facility, but we're also going to be repacking these chutes. And it's going to be fun to show people and show you all out there what is the process. You know, what do we do? We're going to pull this thing, show you what it looks like when we pull it, get a peek at the inside and take a peek at what it looks like. But beforehand, I've been to this place when there's packed hundreds and hundreds of people. So thank you for letting us come and own this place for the day and show us around and stuff, but we're excited about it. But you've had like 10,000 jumps plus, right? What are you up to now?
A little over 12,000.
12,000.
Yeah.
Great. How many years have you owned this?
We've been owner now for about 15 years. I started skydiving in 1995. I did my very first tandem skydive here on a birthday. Right. My wife bought it as a birthday gift, and it absolutely changed our lives. Had no idea, you know, that we had any intent or anything of ended up being owners one day out here, but life kind of pushed us in that direction, and couldn't be happier where we're at today. And we're excited about the direction that our business is going in right now.
That's awesome, and I know this is a beautiful spot. I mean, right over Lake Okeechobee.
Thank you.
I mean, the dives here must be great. I haven't skydived here, but it must be beautiful diving here, right?
You know, it's absolutely awesome up there. You know, for a lot of people say we're out in the middle of nowhere. You know, we're out in the middle of the cane fields out here, but we like to tell people we're in the middle of everywhere. We're actually 60 miles from either coast, from West Palm Beach, Fort Myers, a little bit further drive from down south of Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, but we're in the middle of everywhere. So that's kind of what we like to say to people.
And it's worth it. You know, we're flying in here, and we'll roll some B-roll in for everybody to see the area, but flying in over Lake Okeechobee, and just beautiful area, so nice. Now, how many people work here? What's your staff like?
Well, we employ a little bit, our days get a little bit heavier for us during the winter months. We do have all the drop zones from up north kind of closed down during the winter months. You can't jump in the snow and in the cold areas. So winter months certainly increase for us out here. We'll employ anywhere between 22 and 26 people. So it's a pretty good staff. So yeah, we probably do anywhere between 300 350 skydives on a Saturday and 200 to 300 on a Sunday. Certainly weekends are the busiest times out here for us to accommodate everyone. But we're open 5 days a week. We're closed Tuesdays and Wednesdays to kind of give everybody to re-energize and get us going again for the weekend. But that's kind of our operating schedule right now.
That's cool. And I know I've been here on a weekend when this place is packed. You know, got food going on and drinks, and it's I just want to come out sometimes and just hang around.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping.
You know,
that's great energy, you know.
That's what we tell people. You know, we offer an adult playground. You know, it's people from all walks of life that come to skydive. They're getting away for whatever reason or come out here to enjoy themselves. And it's certainly a time where you get in the plane, you're around, you know, just alpha people all day, just really cool environment. Really cool excitement going on all day, but everyone's out here for the same reason, just to have fun. That escape, that 30 seconds of free fall that you have is just specifically on your own. You open up your parachute, you got 5 or 6 minute parachute ride, and it's just you and the world, and and it's certainly a release for sure.
Yeah, it's incredible. Now, do you guys do halo dives here?
Yeah, well, actually, high altitude, low openings. I mean, we can go up to normally 14,000 feet is our normal exit altitude.
You ever do
for here.
like a 32,000 oxygen?
Well, actually, my wife and 4 other individuals several months ago actually set a national and state record by going to 41,000 feet. My wife decided that she wanted to be a part of that. I was excited for her and scared at the same time. No one had ever done anything like that before.
So full oxygen and stuff.
Full oxygen mask, full everything. They had to stay on the ground for about an hour and acclimate, breathing on the oxygen. It was Mike Mullins, a gentleman that owned the aircraft and a skydiver that's known throughout the industry. He's got the aircraft and the staff to make it as safe as possible. It was really, really awesome, but we were doing stuff that no one had ever done before. So now we've set the bar as far as that, but couldn't be more proud of my wife and everybody else that was involved in that skydive.
Well, speaking of getting up fast and going high, a lot of people don't know. I mean, they see that you have a Caravan, but what they don't know is that you guys modified that with a Garrett or Honeywell engine in it, right? And that's what we have in our Conquest, and boy, I love it because it's a rocket ship up. So
I tell you that Texas Skyways conversion is the company that we utilize for that conversion. It certainly has changed the sport of skydiving as far as that's how we generate our income. Is the faster we can go up, the quicker we can go down, is how many loads that we can get throughout the day. And with that 900 horse Garrett on the front, it certainly makes things a whole lot nicer for us as well.
Yeah, can't beat them.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, now we're going to be showing you the parachutes and how we're going to open them up, pull the cord, and they're going to do the whole rigging and stuff. But I want to show the facility because this is really there's cool energy in here, cool facility. Now, can you walk us around, show us the facility, what the
absolutely.
process is, how you get somebody rigged up and going?
You're standing right now in our 8,000 square foot main hangar. This is where our operation takes place inside here. The carpet area is all the packing area. You know, we we keep it clean. We got to keep everything involved because this is where the parachutes are laid out, and this is where the packing takes place, is on the carpeted areas inside here. Again, it's an 8,000 square foot hangar.
So let me ask you,
yep.
Everybody packing their own rigs here? Is that what they're doing?
Yes, sir. Most of them do pack their own parachutes. We do have our own packers that work for us as well. They pack our own tandem rigs. They pack my student rigs. And they also do paid packing where the experienced jumpers can pay an experienced packer to pack their own.
Skydiving.
Correct, yes, exactly. But yeah, all the packing kind of takes place. We have another facility next door, which I'm excited to kind of show you that. We can kind of lead into that as well, but this is where it starts out in here. Our customers walk inside here, and as they walk inside here, come on over and I'll take you inside our office area. Brian, we're really excited about this. This is, I'm proud to say, this is something that's been a dream of ours for a long time. During the summer months, especially out here in Florida, especially here in South Florida, it gets really hot out here. Yeah. And to accommodate our experienced jumpers, what we've done is we've added 2,000 square feet of indoor AC packing area. It's the largest facility in the state of Florida. We're certainly excited about that. And to accommodate all these, what we're actually doing right now as well is we're actually bringing a second aircraft in for the wintertime to accommodate all of our experienced jumpers out here. So we're kind of excited. We're going to bring in a de Havilland Twin Otter this winter. Yeah. And we'll have our Super Caravan operating as well as the Twin Otter as well. So we'll have 2 aircraft out here for the winter months to accommodate the overflow of jumpers that we do get here, and that we're building on that right now. So we're really excited about the future out here.
Cool. And then I want to make sure you show me outside, like how do they load up? How quick can you get planes in and out? Like what's that whole line like as you're going? So that'll be great to see.
Sure, no problem. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's go back over to the store.
Okay, awesome.
All right, great, Rick. So here is where everybody comes in. It's like the store.
Yeah, this is kind of the heart and soul of the operation. This is where it starts and this is where it ends right here as far as our clients are concerned. We come in here, Every skydiving facility is operating off a legal waiver, so everyone has to sign a stack of papers while they're in here, and also watch an instructional video as well. This is how you get started in skydive is through a tandem skydive. This is what we also specialize in. We're a student training facility. This is what we specialize in, is training students and teaching students to become licensed skydivers. That first step is normally a tandem skydive.
So I also know from reading everything that people can come here and get their certification in like a week.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that we specialize at, and we're proud to be able to offer our clients. That's something that isn't offered everywhere else as well. Of course, it's all depending upon the weather, and we have great weather here in Florida that we can rely upon. But yeah, it's something that our staff is very, very geared to do, and that's take a person directly off the streets and in 1 week time, get them fully certified. They got 25 jumps under their belt. They're fully rated at that time. They're a United States Parachute Association licensed skydiver. They can take that license, then go anywhere in the world and perform a skydive. So it's something that we certainly offer to our clients, and something that nobody is able to do.
I'd like to be able to just say, get it done in a week.
Absolutely.
So I want to see the rest of the facility too, but I saw there's a scale here. That scares me a little, because
Yeah.
if I have to get on it, that could be a problem.
Well, it does kind of scare some people as well, but you know, to perform a skydive, you got to be in decent physical shape to be able to do that. And of course, that means, you know, the weight is related as well. Our skydiving parachute rigs are designed to carry a certain weight, so we don't want to exceed that weight for also, you know, our client and our instructors for safety as well.
Okay, great. Well, I want to go see how people load up, get ready, get on the plane, and head up. So let's go
Awesome.
check that out.
Let's do it.
So what is this contraption?
Brian, let me show you this. This is something that we're proud of. This is something that we invented ourselves. It's called malfunction junction. And if you see all this right here, you're looking at photographs that actually show you the type of malfunctions that's kind of common that we as jumpers need to understand, and how to fix these issues if these issues should occur.
Okay.
These things really don't happen consistently, don't happen a lot, but we always train for the worst possible case scenario. So we always have to show our students what the actual malfunction is, and our students actually simulate this by putting themselves into the harness and showing what they need to do with a cutaway handle and a reserve handle to fix whatever issue, whatever problem that may occur.
Okay, well, let's do one. Show me.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and lean into that. And this will indicate a chest strap here. You have your cutaway handle and a reserve handle. So what I would indicate here, so I'm going to reach up and I'm going to show you, okay, Brian, this is what's going on up here. So if you see, you know, this is kind of entangled up here. So what we'd actually do, we actually train to take both hands, place it on the cutaway handle, look at your reserve handle. Now go ahead and pull that cutaway handle all the way out to full extension. Keep your head and eyes on that reserve. Drop that. Then you're going to take your left hand, place that inside there, take the right hand over the top. We're going to pull that to deploy our reserve. We're going to go back into free fall and allow that reserve to fire off our back. So we got rid of our main parachute by cutting it away, and we deployed our reserve parachute by once again saving our lives. Landing with an open parachute is certainly something we want to do out here all the time. Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So where I'm going to take you right now, this is our student training area. And as you can see, this is one of my instructors over here, actually training one of my students right now as we speak. Come on over here. As you see on this board here, this is each jump and everything involved in our student training program. As you see, there's 18 skydives that are performed with an instructor. They're getting one-on-one coaching, one-on-one instruction the entire time through those first 18 skydives. Again, this is something that we've created ourselves, something that is known worldwide, and we're getting people from all over the world now coming over here because of our student training program. It has proven to be one of the best out there for sure.
Great.
So yeah, we come in here after every skydive. Our instructors leave the aircraft with a camera on their head so that they can video record everything that their students doing. As soon as they land, they take that camera off their heads, they place it in the computer out here, and immediately get a complete feedback of exactly what the student did. That way the instructor can point out, hey, we need to do this a little bit better, or hey, you did great here, hey, we need to, you know, kind of do things a little bit better here, but it's something that's immediate feedback that the student and the instructor can work on immediately. Within 15-20 minutes, they put another rig on their back, we put them in the plane, and we go out and perform another skydive again.
All right.
Our students can make as many skydives as they possibly can during the day. Sometimes they'll make 6, 8 to 10 skydives in a day, depending upon what they can handle physically and mentally during the day as well.
Yeah, I can see that could be mentally stressful.
Yeah,
going.
it can be. Yeah. Okay, Brian, what we have inside here, this is where our gear is stored. As you can see, this is all of our tandem rigs and our student rigs. It's stored in a controlled environment. It's in an AC, humidity controlled environment inside here. But this is all of our rigs. This is what we use all the time in regards to our clients and our staff as well. This is where it starts, and this is where the rigs are brought out and put in gear for the day. This is our video editing room. We have a video editor in here full time during the day. So every time our instructors land, we place the cards inside here into this video room, and it's edited immediately to graphics and music. And we can get that directly out to our clients immediately upon landing. We email that directly to them. So by the time they get home, the email of their skydive is sitting in their box. They can pull it up. They can immediately show it to their friends and family, upload it to social media. It's something that we're really proud of as well.
So Rick, after everybody gets done here, they get all packed up, suited up, ready to go. Obviously, this is where all the business starts to happen.
Absolutely. Our aircraft starts out here and pulls up to the loading area. As you see our steps, the steps lead into the aircraft. But yeah, our aircraft was pulled out. This is the loading area, and this is where it all begins right here. Airplanes on, everything's going. There's 18 jumpers that actually get inside my airplane at one time. It carries 18 per load. Everyone's lined up in a specific order to get to load inside the aircraft. But yeah, this is where all the excitement, this is where it all starts right here for sure.
Adrenaline starts pumping.
Oh
here.
Man.
So what's the time to altitude? Usually you're going about 12 to 12.5 somewhere.
Yeah,
there.
between 12.5 and 14,000 feet. It all depends on how high Miami will allow us to go in that particular day. But anywhere between 12.5 and 14,000. With that Super Caravan with that big engine on front, it certainly it takes about 10 to 12 minutes to get to 14,000.
And that's fully loaded.
And that's fully loaded with 18 people on board. You know, back in the day when I started 26 years ago, before the invent of these big aircraft and turbines, you know, we were in small little Cessna 182 piston planes. You could literally take a book with you and kind of read, you know, a novel by the time you get up to 14 grand back then. But it certainly helped out our industry a whole lot with these big fast turbine airplanes today.
So you're like 10, 12 up, jump, and with those big Garretts and those big props, just come back into power and just
man. By the time
they're on the
our
ground,
pilot, our pilot's actually sitting in this loading area before the last parachutes actually land from that load that they just dropped off.
Okay. So now does he wait until they land to go again, or no?
Well, yeah.
Or does it just work that way?
For safety reasons, as soon as the last jumper lands, you got to remember also our landing area is far away from the landing area for the aircraft.
Yeah, landing's back over on this side.
Yeah, exactly. We have designated landing areas that is completely away from the runway areas out here. We operate off a general aviation airport as well. It's open to the public. Other aircraft come in and out of here all day.
We flew in today.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're a Class C operated airspace out here, so we rely on communication between the pilots and our jump pilot as well. Our jump pilot has instant communication with every pilot out here, as far as an instant communication with Miami that's controlling the airspace above 10,000 feet up here. They're vectoring the aircraft away. We make our skydiving calls throughout the day to advise other pilots in the area, other aircraft in the area, that skydiving activity is being taken place out here. So yeah, Brian, skydiving has been conducted out here since, the early 60s. This was way back then when skydiving was a whole lot different back then, but yeah, this facility has been open for skydiving for a very long time. It certainly has grown exponentially since then. We're excited about the growth and the development of the airport as well. We have great rapport with Henry County and the commissioners out here that actually own the facility out here. They've helped us tremendously throughout the year. We've got a great relationship with all the farmers around here as well. We don't have any farmer McNasties that are going to get upset with us about landing in the cane fields out here. So yeah, it's really a safe area to come skydiving in.
Well, I want to get our chutes packed and see that whole process and show you. But before we do that, I just want to take a quick peek at your plane. Can we go take a look at that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Great, let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right, so love to see that big Garrett out in the front there. But this is your main plane, right? And you have other ones coming. But
yeah, this is our Grand Caravan. This is a super caravan now. Again, we've kind of talked a little bit briefly about the addition of this big 900 horse Garrett on the front. That has certainly been a game changer in our industry. Again, the way we generate income in skydiving is the faster we can get our clients up and faster down is a way that we operate. So yeah.
So they load up on the backside here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got a big Lexan sliding door on it. As you can see here, all the cargo doors are taken off. Everything is FAA regulated as far as the STCs and the paperwork is concerned for the floater bars, for the doors, the step, these benches inside of here, seat belt configuration. Everything is FAA controlled. Okay. And
so they're just basically looking out or back and forth. And
yeah, these are called straddle benches. 7 people sit on these benches per. So 7 here, 7 there, and then 4 on the floor. So that gives us a total of 18 jumpers. Okay. That can, which is max weight for this aircraft.
And then jumping is they're just holding the handle and they're stepping
here so
first,
at 14,000 feet, we slow the aircraft down to the slowest possible exit speed that we can at that point. And then all of our jumpers start getting in their position depending upon the type of discipline that they're doing as far as the skydiving that they're conducting. But again, we have floater steps. We have steps where camera people can use this out here, and this is where all of the jumpers come flying out this door here and into the wind line.
Okay, and then they pull that big thing, which we're going to go do on our chutes right now.
Yeah. Opening your parachute is something that we certainly want to do on every skydive. Landing with a fully open inflated parachute is certainly every skydiver's the goal is to do that, is land safely in an open parachute.
So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to head over, going to throw my chute on, we're going to pull that and open it up and take a peek at it. And this is going to be the first time we actually have seen the inside of our new parachute. So, and we're up on our 180 days. So
awesome.
Obviously we fly aerobatics and our extra and stuff like that. And it's regulated that we're wearing chutes when you're flying aerobatics. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go, but let's go open these chutes. I'm excited to see them.
Okay, awesome.
All right, Rick, so I'm looking forward to us rigging these now. And I guess Mike's going to take over and walk us through the whole process, yeah?
Yeah, he is certainly the experienced person on this side of it as well. This is Mike Harp. He is our FAA certified rigger, completely licensed and certified by the FAA. He is the only one that is allowed to touch a reserve. Every 180 days, every reserve is inspected by an FAA certified rigger and is repacked and stamped and licensed and signed off on that card per the FAA standards, placed back inside that rig to ensure everyone's safety as well.
Okay, and I should mention everybody out there, pilots, that all you guys flying extra aerobatics and stuff, and I know you have to get your rigs. The fact that you're not going skydiving and you're using this for legally for flying aerobatics, you still have to follow the 180 days. That's just how it is. So there's not a difference between coming here and skydiving in those rigs versus your rig when you're flying aerobatics. Same thing, 180 days. So, Mike, looking forward to hearing more about this. So let's go ahead and dig in.
Awesome.
So we're heading up with Mike to where they do the packing, and I'm looking forward to putting this thing on. I've been wanting forever to pull that lever, so let's go do it. All right, so this is the room where they do all the packing. This is kind of off limits, but Mike, tell us, like, what's the process? Where do you start when we bring this, as a pilot, we bring this rig to you? What's the first things you do?
So with it being a pilot rig, these usually can stay in service a lot longer as long as the hardware and the webbing itself, meaning the harness material that actually holds you into the parachute, is maintained properly and is okay. From looking at most of the stitches here, this is basically the first part of the process, of the inspection process at least, to see and verify if this is actually a rig that I can go ahead and pack. Sometimes pilots will go ahead and bring us rigs that are 20 years old that have been sitting in a hangar the entire time. I open it up, or I start looking at the hardware. You start seeing any kind of rust or mold or anything developing on the container, you know, off rip, hey, this is not something that's, you know, safe to work on. It's not safe to jump. We shouldn't be looking any further into this. So before we waste any other time, I always like to go ahead and check out the hardware, because this is the most important part sometimes. These clips, a lot of times keep you held into your leg straps, which are going to go ahead and hold you into the container itself, so that way you can safely land back down to the ground. So when these springs start going bad, that's also a good indicator that maybe you need to start checking out a lot more points of the hardware. But as far as I can tell right now, all this hardware is made out of cadmium, which is going to eventually lose its kind of polish to it. It doesn't mean anything bad, but once you start seeing a little bit more of this darker material show up underneath it, you know that within the next few years, it's going to, it's going to start showing and developing signs of rust. Which is something to look out for, because that rust can very...
So right now you're just making sure there's no rust on it, but that's just
Correct.
an indication it's getting close.
It's getting close. So again, nothing to worry about right now, because the main point is we don't want any rough burrs. We don't want anything like being able to scratch this material. So because over time, with you putting it on, taking it off, whatnot, it's going to eventually go ahead and try to cut through this material if it was bad enough rust or any kind of patinaing of the hardware. But as far as I'm concerned, this looks absolutely great. So this is our FAA data card right here. This is what the manufacturer hands to you, so that way your rigger and yourself can go ahead and keep track and verify that this is a properly packed parachute and it is certified by an FAA rigger.
And it's got your dates on it.
Yep, so it's got dates, it's gonna have the location of where it was packed at. Some people like to go ahead and put the actual airport, some people will put the airport number, and then it looks like in this case it was just abbreviated here. And then next category is signature and certification number. So this is where we're going to sign it and then put our seal number. So if we look over on this side, in the United States, it is 100% required for you to have a FAA rigging seal on your parachute in order for it to be a usable parachute.
I didn't even know that was there.
So see, so very important too to always make sure to check your seal, because every now and then, with this being rubbed up and down all the time, if that red rigger's thread right there were to go ahead and break, this would need to be resealed. It is no longer a valid pack job, because we don't know if it's been tampered with, we don't know if it's been opened up and reused, we don't know what's going on with it. So your local rigger, whoever it is that repacked your reserve last, would have to go ahead and reseal it. Pretty easy process. This is only 5-pound tensile thread too, so it breaks very easily under wear and tear. Okay. So if you're somebody that gets this packed like once every year or so, if you're not using it all the time, it's very likely that this will end up snapping at some point.
A lot of people might not know, but is there one chute in there, or is there two chutes in there?
Yep, so on a pilot bailout rig, there's only going to be one big chute in here. So basically, S folds all the way up through the entire container. Sometimes when it comes to me, I like to ask if they need lumbar or upper support on their back, because you can actually distribute the bulk in either the upper or lower portion of it.
That's good to know. I didn't know that, and that
So,
would actually help me.
Yeah, if you like your rigger and your rigger is, you know, a good friend of yours, yeah, definitely ask him if you could distribute the bulk in the either upper or lower part, depending on if you need a little bit more lumbar support or
So
not.
that's a good answer, because I know pilots have even said to me, oh, so if the first chute doesn't go, you're going to pull your reserve? And I'm like, not on this particular rig.
Yep, this is your reserve. This is your last shot. This is...
so your first reserve is your airplane.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Yeah, your airplane is your main parachute, and
right.
this is going to be your reserve. So.
All right, great. So then what happens?
So after this, okay, after verifying that the material itself is good, nothing is messed up, it is okay to be packed, then we can go ahead and start the process of, I like to go ahead and take the seal off. I'm not going to pop it just yet. I'm going to let our man of honor do it.
Okay.
And but I'm going to take the seal off, because this does have what we call a spring-loaded pilot chute inside. So what that's going to do is it's actually going to pop out, so that way it clears your burble and it allows safe extraction of the round parachute inside. So this, after that spring-loaded pilot chute comes off, could actually become a projectile. So I like to take these off beforehand. Yep. And that's that. Yeah, normally this is where I'd go ahead and pop it open. I like to try to do it slowly, one by one, just so that way I can see how the previous rigger went ahead and did like some of their work. Maybe I can learn something from it. Maybe it's exactly the same way that it was before. So, but I think
we're just going to pop it.
Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and pop it. So
great.
Yep.
All right, so I'm all rigged up. I'm getting out of my plane. What should I expect when I pull this handle?
So pretty much what's going to happen is you're going to pull on this ripcord. This is actually connected through a housing. Oh, my bad. This is actually connected through a housing on the left-hand side. And if you turn around for me real quick, it passes through all the way to the back. So that way it can pull these two pins simultaneously. Once these pins are deployed, your reserve pilot chute is actually going to eject off your back to help clear your burble. And then from there, it's going to go ahead and start the deployment sequence. So, yep, once you pull that, these two pins are going to release and you're good to go.
Is there any reason when I would pull this and it wouldn't pull, or then at that point do I just grab everything and try to pull it all?
So there should be no reason. If you have had your parachute properly maintained and inspected by an FAA rigger, there should be no reason for anything to hinder the performance of this. That's the whole reason we have a metal housing going through the side, so that way if there's any kinks and whatnot, or for whatever reason it was impinged, it would be able to go ahead and slide easily out.
Okay, so basically this is Velcro here.
Yep, that's Velcro.
Obviously I don't want to be falling on my back and pull that, right?
It would be very helpful to go ahead and maintain a stable body position while deployment, so that way it can deploy appropriately.
All right, so we ready to pull?
Yep, all ready, good to go.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
And there we go. So
2 hands straight out as far as I can.
Yep. So what we see here falling out is actually the very beginning of your parachute. So this is what we call the apex. This is the very top. This is actually where it allows air to escape from. And then what we have here, short little bridle with our nice long spring-loaded pilot chute. There we go. So yep, this is what we compress down and actually put our 2 closing loops through, so that way we can pin this into place to keep it, so that way it's not deployed at the wrong time. And yep, if we want to throw this on the floor here now. So this is the very beginning of our reserve being deployed. So everything is held together by Velcro. Super important to keep that Velcro out of the way when we're doing some stuff like this, because if it snags onto those lines, it's no good. So yeah, very simple. Everything is basically just S-folded in here in a specific fashion, so that way it all deploys on time. We don't want any of these lines coming out before the entire canopy comes out, and we don't want the canopy to come out like halfway in than the other. So yep, these are all the simple folds that we do to go ahead and get this all out.
So it basically pulls all that out first, and then...
Yep, and then we get to what's called the diaper, which is this piece of fabric right here, which actually holds this all into place, so that way it doesn't open up prematurely. We want it to open up at a specific time when the canopy itself is actually fully extended off of your back, and then these lines are going to go ahead and start unstowing. So each of these are held together by a low tension rubber band, and they're going to go ahead and snap open, and once it gets to the very end here, it's actually going to go ahead and release the diaper and allow the bottom of the parachute to expand, so that way it can fully inflate and then bring you down to the ground safely.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's basically still pulling it from this area because you got the chute out there.
Yeah, and it will not
drag chute.
It will not deploy at all. This will not allow the parachute to open up at all until all of these lines are completely unstowed.
Okay. So and what's doing that is the drag chute's pulling that.
Yep. So this is going to go ahead and extend off your back, and then all it's doing by pulling out this is creating enough of drag to go ahead and start deploying the rest of the parachute.
Okay.
So as this is being presented to the wind, although it's not able to fully open, it can still create and generate enough drag to release all of these stows right here, and then boom, it's going to get to that very last one. It's going to open up the diaper at the very bottom. It's going to expose this bottom portion to the air, and then that's how it's going to go ahead and start deploying, opening up, and have a nice big round above your head. So from here we can tell the date of manufacture is going to be November of 1993, serial number 205.
So we'd have to look up the model, and
yeah,
it's a 24 footer.
I was going to say, I think it's 24, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, 24.
Ah, there we go. I'm looking at it upside down. So yeah, nice under. So anything that's TSO'd and TSO compliant, like, is eligible to be packed in the United States. If it is not TSO compliant, you shouldn't be jumping it at all. So it's always very good if you have unknown items to, like, make sure that you recognize or get familiar with the manufacturer of whatever parachute and containers being brought to you. Make sure that it's correct under the TSO guidelines, and yeah.
Okay.
That's also another.
So we don't want to sit here and watch you pack, but what'll be your process now to put this all back together? You open it all up, inspect everything?
Yep. So basically at this point, I would go ahead and start opening everything up, look at each one of the gores, make sure the lines are all assembled correctly, because like I had said earlier, we noticed that this one was uninstalled and then reinstalled. Last time it was repacked, so that's just going to tell me that I'm going to want to take a little bit of extra time to make sure to look at these risers up here and make sure that all of this was assembled correctly. The super tacks are all in place properly where they need to be. Each of the lines are on its individual
So
panel.
these are called risers?
Yep, so these are actually your risers right here.
Okay.
These risers are connected to the harness that actually holds you into the container itself. It's all one piece, so they're all stitched and interlocked together to make sure that, yeah, you have the safest, ride down possible. Be careful when pulling these.
So, Matt, when you edit this, just before he said ooh, don't show any of that we're pulling that off or anything, just we'll go to what we're saying next. So you just ended with these are attached to the whole system?
Yep. So these risers are connected throughout all the webbing in the entire system, that then go ahead and connect to each one of the lines, which are gonna, ride all the way up, zero cascade, so meaning that they are all one continuous line all the way up to the bottom of the canopy itself, into each one of the gores and panels on the canopy. So, yeah.
Okay. Anything special we need to know about how you would repack it, or is pretty much the way you pulled it out is how you're repacking it?
Yep, so it's just reverse engineering this entire deployment sequence is exactly how it would go. So I would end up starting at probably creating some tension on the canopy, so that way I have everything nice and straight. I can do these nice proper 1/3 folds to try to help lessen the bulk. This is what we call bulk distribution. So it's like a 1/3 fold, another 1/3 fold, or quarter fold over here, and then 1/3 fold over. And we basically do that throughout the entire canopy. And then afterwards, it's, stowing the lines inside the diapers, or inside the diaper, and then bringing it all the way to the container, doing our S folds, compressing our pilot chute, and it's ready to go again. Main importance about this entire inspection process is mainly just figuring out, has it been maintained properly? Are we going to be able to pack it? Would this be airworthy and safe to jump? That's probably the most important thing. The packing of the parachute itself, relatively easy, but it's knowing what to look out for on each one of these canopies with the manufacturers. So, like, I always like to go ahead and make sure I check the apex. This is usually where, if the canopy has been used, a lot of the wear and tear happens when it starts getting deployed. This is also where we put a lot of stress on it when we have to put it under tension. So all these bar tacks, it's important to make sure they're okay, and then there's no rips or tears going throughout the...
Okay. And then the spring you had talked about, when I pull that, the springs out, is really in the drag chute, right?
Yep. Yeah, so you guys call it drag chute, spring-loaded pilot chute, same difference. You'll hear different verbiage used for different parts of containers and different various aerobatic...
So that's where the spring is, right there.
Yep,
Okay.
the spring is just inside the pilot chute, so this is regular material with a mesh material underneath, and then all connected through a little bridle to the apex of the parachute.
All right, great. So we're going to let you pack this up and stuff, and we'll come back and get it in a couple days, and looking forward to that. Got them handed off to you, and we'll come back in a couple days to get it. But what are any suggestions for pilots? Or
So one main suggestion that I can go ahead and give for pilots out there is that there are different types of bailout rigs that you can get. So get familiar with the types of rigs that there are, the manufacturers, and what their typical emergency procedures are. So having a good understanding of your equipment is a good way to help save your life as well. So educate yourself a little bit on what this equipment is, how it properly deploys itself, how you may be able to maintain it a little bit better, and then yeah, you should be all good to go. Talk to your local rigger and they should be able to help you out with any of this at all.
And that's why we wanted to show you guys us pulling this and what it looks like inside to give you a little bit of a better understanding. Now, I know we're 180 days on ours, but different materials like maybe silks and stuff like that isn't always 180 days, right? What
yeah, so actually funny enough, no, there's not a lot of canopies out there to this day that are made out of silk or organic materials basically. Yeah, with organic materials it does change the amount of time due. I believe it's down to 90 days. And the reason being is because organic materials break down a lot easier. So you guys are sitting with this on your back the entire day, right? So what's the most corrosive material on the face of this planet? Salt. So as you're rubbing up on this material all day, you get a little bit of sweaty inside your aircraft. Eventually over time, if we didn't check and maintain these materials, they would start breaking down, deteriorating. The metal hardware on there would start corroding and you'll really start to see some patining, and then that's where a lot of wear and tear happens. It starts breaking down those natural and unnatural fibers and nothing can save it at that point. So number one enemy is corrosion.
Newer models aren't using silk and things.
No, yeah, and most of it is made out of nylon, F111 or ZP material nowadays. So we don't have to worry too much about the 90-day mark. But I mean, it's still kind of, some people actually to this day still argue that we should have a 90-day repack cycle instead of a 180-day repack cycle. So personal preferences.
Yeah. Our whole world in aviation is good. All those kinds of conversations.
Yeah.
All right, great. Mike, it was so awesome. We appreciate it. I'm sure people
Absolutely.
are going to love seeing what you guys did. And everybody, we're going to now leave Mike to finish up. We're going to head back into Bonanza to head back to FXE, and then we'll come back in a few days to pick these chutes up. All right, everybody, that is a wrap. Hope you learned a lot about what happens to your parachute, what it looks like, what the process is to get it repacked. Again, Skydive Spaceland here in South Florida. Awesome place, so quiet and peaceful around here. Come check it out. And by the way, E3 members, we'll be having events here, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's coming up for you. So make sure you're checking your calendar and seeing everything that's going on as a member. So please like and subscribe and even share to help algorithm show us to more people out there so we can educate more people. So hopefully you enjoyed this. We'll see you on the next one.